Nostalgia. It's a hell of a drug. 2009. The year I graduated college.
Lehman Brothers suffering a spectacular downfall.
But now it's official, we are in a recession.
The financial crisis has made these challenges even more severe.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
We are in the earliest days of the pandemic. The virus is spreading.
I like this ship.
You know, it's exciting. This is great.
Come on. He made me this color so that I may talk. Squirrel!
Why can't we remember a goddamn thing from last night?
This slinky thing, it ain't over yet.
We all thought 2020 was a dumpster fire. I guess we're kind of forgetting how bad things got in 2009, eh? The end of the noughts and the start of the 2010s really saw pop culture look backwards in a way it hadn't before. We saw reboots of Star Trek, Star Wars, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, DuckTales, The Tick, Boy Meets World, Anne with an E, 90210, Roseanne, MacGyver, Blade Runner, the Alien movies, and live-action Disney remakes galore. This is just film and television. The 2010s also saw the rise of indie games with their retro throwbacks and pixel art. Just about all pop culture was being marketed and sold on nostalgia. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. We long to remember childhood and simpler times, life before adulthood, before crippling student debt, endless foreign wars, and before social media induced hours of doom scrolling. Nostalgia numbed all of that. 2009 also saw the release of new Super Mario Bros Wii, the first home console release of a brand new, classically inspired Mario game, which wasn't a complete surprise, to be honest. The Super Mario Galaxy game saw Nintendo kinda going back to basics. Mario was slowly reversing course back to his roots of linear levels, with starting at point A, overcoming the challenges, and arrive at the goal at point B. Mario was going back old school, y'all. New Super Mario Bros. Wii was just a culmination of the thought process that led the design of Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. That, and the nostalgia boom of the 2000s and 2010s. But it really didn't start with the Galaxy games. The allure of creating a new classically playing Mario game started before either Galaxy game was even released. Nintendo celebrated the 20th anniversary of the Famicom by releasing the NES Classic series of games on the Game Boy Advance. Among the limited series was the original Super Mario Bros. Miyamoto had a growing sense that there was a large group of people out there who had once played games but had stopped for whatever reason. The NES Classic series brought that sense of reality for him. In an Iwata Ass interview, Miyamoto shares his revelation. But no matter how far people may drift away from games, their memories of playing Mario are still with them. He brought this up with Tezuka. Their discussion of the matter led to the fact that people who had forgotten about games probably got turned off by the complexity that the move to 3D space brought. So the next Mario game they were going to make was going to have to go back to its 2D roots. The fall of 2004, the Nintendo DS released. This would begin Nintendo's focus onto a new market of non-gamers, casual gamers, and former gamers. They saw the appeal of casual mobile games several years before casual mobile games became big money. Its biggest sellers were released early on in the console's lifespan: Brain Age with 19 million units sold, and Nintendogs with 23 million units sold. But its biggest seller was yet to come. 2006. May 15th of 2006, new Super Mario Bros. Released on the Nintendo DS. It took Mario back to basics with 2D levels scrolling from left to right. Except this time, he wasn't a pixelated sprite. He was fully polygonal, and he did bring some of his movesets from the 3D games. but most everything else was classic Super Mario Bros. This sold like gangbusters. It became the best-selling DS game of all time, with more than 30 million units sold, also earning it the 15th spot of the 50 best-selling games of all time. Nostalgia. It's a hell of a drug. In the fall of 2006, Nintendo released the Wii package with Wii Sports. As I mentioned before, this became a huge success. Not just among core gamers, but among former gamers who had grown up with Nintendo in the 80s, and some people who never were really interested in games before. With the success of the DS among casual and new gamers, the Wii helped Nintendo open up a new segment of the market. New Super Mario Bros. Really helped establish Nintendo's return to market dominance. Miyamoto's hunch was right. People may have forgotten about games, but they had not forgotten about Mario. Classic Mario was back, baby, and he was here to stay. Back to 2009. Super Mario Galaxy had been out on the Wii for a few years by this point, and while it was a big seller, more than 6 million units, that's less than a third of the new Super Mario Bros. Sales on the DS. Naturally, Nintendo decided to bring the success they had on their handheld over to their hot-selling home console, the Wii. New Super Mario Bros. Wii was nostalgia. It was a new 2D side-scrolling Mario adventure fashioned after the classic Nintendo Super Mario Bros. Each world was a themed world with mid-level towers and end-level castles. And there were airship levels, underground levels, water levels, classic power-ups, new power-ups, bonus games, mushroom houses for extra power-ups and extra lives, as well as a power bank to give Mario that extra edge before entering a level. It was oozing with nostalgia. It was classic Mario with 25 more years of game design experience. The levels weren't fly-by-the-seat-of-their-pants design. There was now a system and philosophy in place to follow when it came to creating engaging and dynamic levels. A new or one-of-a-kind mechanic would be introduced in a level in a safe way. The player was only in danger if they were completely inept or fell asleep. Then they would up the challenge of that mechanic, put a twist on the mechanic towards the end, and then incorporate a gauntlet at the end of the level to apply all you have learned. Take this tower level, for example. Right away, you see the spike pillar in the center. You're completely safe, while the level shows you its main obstacle. The only way to ascend the level is to jump on the platforms where you're in danger of getting crushed by the pillar. Every so often, there are alcoves along the side to take shelter before the pillar can get you. As you go higher, there are now moving platforms. You have to ascend while trying to not get crushed by the pillar or have the moving platform take you right into the spikes on the pillar. Then there are bouncy blocks. Now you have to time your jumps and button presses to quickly get to the next safety alcove. Next is a twist. The pillar changes and comes from above rather than below. Now you have pipes that you have to go in to launch the next levels, once again requiring good timing. Then a last stretch of moving platforms that take you into the spikes when the pillar comes down. Introduction, up the ante, twist, then apply all you learned to finish the course. Good, clean design. New Super Mario Bros. Wii is splendid. But besides being a finely polished throwback to old school Mario games, it also added something we all wanted since childhood.
Simultaneous multiplayer.
The Super Mario Bros. Games of yore had multiplayer, but each player could only play one at a time. Now in Super Mario Bros. Wii, up to 4 could play simultaneously. Hijinks would ensue. Playing with friends, you had to have a certain attitude towards it. You couldn't take it seriously. You had to play it with the intention of just having fun and maybe trolling your buddy. If you played it co-op with just 2, it's pretty doable. Once you get more than that, it's chaotic hell on earth. You couldn't play it with the intent of getting every little secret coin or doing really well. You have to play to have fun.
Embrace the chaos.
Don't take it seriously, because it's not serious, it's just a mess of a good time. I remember New Year's Eve of 2009. My roommates and I had people over and someone brought new Super Mario Bros Wii. As we were playing through a castle level with people dying in the lava constantly, one of my roommate's buddies said, "This is like a cartoon Darfur," which is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. And not a bad analogy, to be honest, even if it was quite a bit offensive. The simultaneous multiplayer was a wish come true for most, but some didn't enjoy it. It ruined the Mario experience for them. Sometimes you have to be careful what you wish for. Just like New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, New Super Mario Bros. Wii sold a bajillion copies. The New Super Mario Bros. Franchise was here to stay for a while, all because of nostalgia. It's a hell of a drug. Is there such a thing as too much of a good thing?
How deep are you going?
I don't know. How deep do you think it is?
Yes.
Pretty deep.
Yes, there is. 2012. And this year alone, we got 2 new Super Mario Bros. Games. New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS, and New Super Mario Bros. U on the Wii U. The 3DS, while it did become a good performing console in its own right, didn't have the blockbuster type sales that the DS enjoyed. And the Wii U,
I don't understand you, Britta! I don't understand you at all!
You know what? Totally wrong room. Will you get the door?
She's had enough! She's had enough!
Huh. It wasn't quite near the success that the Wii was. Take hardware that wasn't having the same appeal as its predecessors and add in 2 almost identical derivative Mario games coming out in the same year.
It's clearly different from the new Wii U Mario game that Reggie talked about earlier.
But it wasn't true.
You get a bit of fatigue. It was more of the same with a coin collection challenge. That's it. New Super Mario Bros. U, on the other hand, took the franchise and mixed it with some elements of Super Mario Bros. 3 and added the interconnected world of Super Mario World. Mix all that together and you got a nice nostalgic reimagining of classic Mario games with shiny new packaging. Yeah, we wanted the next Mario title, something new that would move Mario forward, and while New Super Mario Bros. U didn't do that, it really is the pinnacle of this franchise, a perfect blend of new ideas that the new Super Mario Bros. Games brought to side-scrolling Mario with the classic layouts of old-school Mario games. There isn't much to say on the game other than its perfect nostalgia, a hell of a drug. But between coming out the exact same year as New Super Mario Bros. 2 and launching on the Wii U, New Super Mario Bros. U, as well as New Super Mario Bros. 2, did not enjoy their sales-topping figures like the originals did on the DS and the Wii.
No one wants you. Does anyone want him, Barry?
Who would want him?
They don't want you.
Good. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug, but it does have its limits. You can overdose. Fatigue sets in, and you're left wanting something else to experience. It's hard to find something more to say about this specific game when all that I have to say about it has already been said about the previous entries. I guess I could say that the flying squirrel power-up is my favorite flying power-up since the cape feather. I mean, at least it's a heck of a lot better than the propeller hat, which I hate, but that's it. It's just Super Mario World 2 with some elements of Super Mario Bros. 3. It's the best of those worlds with polygonal Mario models. New Super Mario Bros. U is the pinnacle of the franchise. It does everything better than all of its predecessors. Truly, you could argue it was a sequel to Super Mario World we had waited decades for. But we were tired. The aura had faded. As much as nostalgia makes us feel good, we can only take so much of it. We begin to yearn for something new. Here's kind of an insane takeaway in a video about Mario games. Remembering and reliving the past can feel good, and it can be good sometimes. Reminiscing of the good old days releases that sweet, sweet dopamine that sometimes you just really, really need. But if you spend too much time there, you miss the good old days happening right in front of you. You miss the chance to experience something new, something that will create a new memory to be nostalgic for later on. As much as I wanted a new classic Mario experience, the new Super Mario Bros. Games gave me too much of a good thing. Nostalgia. It's a hell of a drug. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, do all the things that feed the algorithm and helps the video get noticed. And maybe even share it if you feel like it. If you want to see more of what I've done, you can click on one of these videos here that just popped up. Look at one of the earlier Mario videos from this series I've been doing, or something else. Yeah. Okay, thanks, bye.